To find out more about philosophy, I've got an expert here with me. Or have I? Or am I here? Maybe I'm imagining them, or they're imagining me. Or am I? Hello, philosophy lady. Am I here?
If you can come in here with some audible quality, then you can have a conversation with us. But at the moment, you might as well not be here, mate.
Oh.
Unfortunately for us.
Just disconnect it from the...
I'll on my phone.
It sounds like you're standing outside a nightclub, Noodles, says Godfrey. But that would be very early doors for a nightclub, I think, where he is.
Savina, so what did you think about the AA stuff?
I'll be back.
The sperm donation.
Yeah. Should I be donating my sperm as an antinatalist? Is that what's...
Oh, goodness me.
I'm kidding.
Oh, no. I mean, wow. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, it's one of those, it's another one of those hypotheticals that we ANs like to talk about. I mean, this is the first I think I've ever heard of this particular hypothetical, but yeah, I commented in response, I saw that John from AA sort of commented on the video clip that you posted of that clip. And it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's an interesting thought, but I think, as John said, his reason for that particular, he's basically said that one of the caveats is that it's only if there's like proof there's a compassionate gene, and because apparently some people because you do see it happen on some of these I guess I've seen people have debates with natalists, and I think I actually have heard that argument being made to ANs that, what if you ANs could die out or something and, your compassionate gene dies out with you. But then, first of all, we don't know if there's a compassionate gene, but I think, yeah, John sort of said, if there is a compassionate gene, then, would it be okay then to if someone's going to use a sperm bank anyway, because they want to, how people go and use sperm banks because they want to have a kid, and that they're going to have a kid no matter what, then if there is a compassionate gene, then maybe it can be an AN person's sperm instead of used, because it's not going to make a difference to the overall number of procreation that's going to happen. But yeah, I think it's a very kind of really, I want to say really far-fetched kind of hypothetical, but I mean, I guess that's the nature of hypotheticals. They're supposed to be. But yeah, my answer in principle is that will never be justified, because it's in contradiction to AN, because you're still bringing, even if this compassionate gene existed, which I don't think there'll ever be a way to prove whether there is or not, but even if they did, so what? They're still going to be created to, go through and go through all the trials that life brings, and it just, it's the whole point of AN is that we're saying it's unethical essentially to reproduce. So even if this kid is born with this compassionate gene, it doesn't mean suddenly that the world's going to be a better place necessarily. It just means you're going to have more kids who are compassionate on the earth, but then they're still going to suffer. They're still going to cause suffering. So it's a funny hypothetical, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to hear what other people who I don't know if that clip was from a larger, I think it was from one of, they had that AN conference there. I think it might have been from one of the discussions that happened on that day, if I remember correctly, Mark. But
oh, did they talk about that at the conference as well? I got it from the last episode they did.
Oh, was it? Okay, maybe I'm getting it confused, because the thumbnails look really similar to me, so maybe I'm getting it all mixed up. But I don't know. I feel like I've heard of that scenario before, and I think it was also from that, the AA, camp, if you like. But I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what other people's thoughts are on that, whether or not they think that could ever be a decent justification. But I like to imagine the overwhelming sort of consensus will be no, that it isn't justifiable, even if there was some way to prove a compassionate gene, or that there definitely was one. Yeah, I might have to go back and watch the whole thing. Like, I actually want to go back and kind of maybe
if you watch the whole thing, I'd be interested in your thoughts on it, because yeah, like I felt, again, lack of sleep, and then I listened to that section 5 times, and I'm like, there's no way they're arguing what I think they're arguing. And anyway, so like he clarified, and so I guess he doubled down on it. So like, it is what it is.
Tell me something. Is this better?
Yes, much better.
Yeah.
Sorry,
What did you
Alright.
do?
Sorry, Mark. I'm completely ignorant of this, as I am of money matters. But who was advocating for?
Why don't you just play it? It's like a minute long. It's just one. It's a 60-second clip.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Go on
It'd be-
Mark's community tab.
It'd be curious. Yeah, you're like blind reaction, so to speak.
Yeah.
Gives me free views too. No, I'm kidding.
Well, no, you can keep talking till I find the channel. I got to go to your community. Is it?
Well,
your
I
community?
recommend that. I don't know if you guys heard me before, but all I was saying was y'all should join the realm that
The realm.
Evan and I created. Yeah, we created a realm.
Right, I got this video, so I'll play it now. 1 second.
Okay.
Just give me. I'll have to present the Oh shit, that's not it. 1 second. Let's present. Share screen. Brother Marcus. Yeah, this is a share. Okay, you can see that. Yeah, so I'll do this. You can still see that. Yeah.
The number of wild animals. There are other things you can do to be impactful. Although I do think, and maybe this is a subject for another day, I do think that as long as, if you're an antinatalist, so long as it doesn't increase the overall amount of human births, which might go against antinatalist ethics, donating to a sperm bank to pass on your good, wholesome antinatalist genes, it might not be such a bad thing to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I can see an ethical argument for it.
Yeah, if like, there's a couple who are going to have children anyway. It is so funny, like, where philosophy can take you. Like, you're like this antinatalist podcast, and you're genuinely saying, like, yeah, I mean, I do think that if you're not gonna have your own kids, but like, you could go to a sperm bank and start
Exactly.
donating.
It wouldn't conflict with most people's versions of antinatalism if they weren't causing the number of people born to exist.
Yeah.
They might just get the sperm of some guy who's not a compassionate person. So
yeah, I think that if you think you've got good genes overall, if you're an antinatalist, you've probably got like higher empathy and compassion than the average person. So like, yeah.
Well done. Well done.
That
Yeah,
at the end. So
I mean, I think
That's exactly how I felt when I heard it.
exactly.
I think I'm guessing that was kind of tongue in cheek or something. I don't know what the fuck, but
Oh, the meme at the end, yeah, because I was confused. I was like, "What's going on?"
But I mean, you say that, but then, as we said, like John from AA has commented on Mark's video.
Oh yeah, you can see the comment that he made as well.
Yeah, on that D&W, on that very same video, you can see where John from AA has commented.
Because it does sound like they're joking, but actually, no, they're actually genuinely saying that.
Yeah, and his comment on the video explains it, like what they meant, and that's what I'm saying. That's what they're being serious, but he said with caveat. So the caveat would be if there's a very big if that compassionate gene exists. That's caveat number one, and there's a number of others, but they'd have to be certain that the gene exists, and then that child, that compassionate child can be born through the sperm donation. And another caveat is that doesn't increase the overall number of procreation happening.
So you'd be willing to let your child die of like cancer because they're compassionate? I mean,
exactly. That's my point. It still goes against AN, doesn't it? Really? Because
I mean, in actual fact, some compassionate people have the worst time in this world because to be caring in this world is a very hard job. It's a burden.
Exactly.
You're better off being a psychopath in this world because then you don't have. It's true. You enjoy it here. You don't have emotions. So you're probably better off being a psychopath for your own benefit. But they're talking about as a benefit for others. But why should anyone be sacrificed for another person's ideology? Well, they may not agree with it. Don't know. Anyway, we've got Bane here. Bane, you'll have to wait a bit. Sounds a bit eugenic-y as well.
Is Bane
Yeah,
backstage? Is Bane backstage?
yeah.
Does he
I'll
want to
let him
come on
on.
so I can
I'm
jump
leaving.
off? Okay. Right.
I was going to say you can put me backstage for a few minutes.
Yeah, I could go back in the audience as well.
Oh no, DNW has already left, so we've got Bane on. We've got 6 of us now. Hi, Bane.
Hi, Bane.
Hi, Bane.
Hello. I didn't mean to get anyone off their chair.
Yeah, that whole thing from
Bane.
John and that antinatalist advocacy thing is real whack. Like, it's very weird.
Yeah,
Right.
I wonder, like, is anybody going to, like, bring it up, or I don't know.
Yeah, I will write a full response to it. I think it's weird.
Okay, good.
I'm
Like,
just I mean I wrote a comment and reply to John, and I just I understand that their mission is there's nothing wrong with their mission. If you want to be against suffering, heck, who that's a great thing to commit your time to, no worries. But the whole it just confuses me why they call themselves antinatalist advocacy and all that kind of stuff. I
that's
don't
the
get it.
confusing part. I'm like, well, if it's just an effective altruism,
Right.
spice or new kind of thing, then just brand yourself that way. It's
Why don't you just call yourself effective altruism anti-suffering team or something, whatever. But
Anti-suffering team,
the anti-suffering team, the anti-suffering squad,
the anti-suffering league.
Long-termism with antinatalist genes.
Jesus. I struggle with a lot of what those guys. I struggle to comprehend how they are thinking. Like they did like this. In my opinion, there's a lot of contradictions, a lot of things that just don't square up, and I just can't get it.
I have to look at those comments because I genuinely thought that must be a bit tongue in cheek or something. But
yeah, sort of like Vina thought that. I thought that
it could be like making the best out of a bad situation, like worst case scenario. This is like the most acceptable manner, but still, it doesn't ring true as an antinatalist. It doesn't ring true that you could do that.
I think the only way you can square it is as a utilitarian, but then you're doing utilitarianism. You're not doing antinatalism.
Right, and that's exactly it. And I don't see the I mean, why? I'm just stumbling over my thoughts here. Why so committed to the antinatalism label? I don't get that. It's if you're not antinatalist, just drop it. It's no drama. It's who cares? It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I want to think about it more.
I mean, hopefully he'll either renounce it or he'll make up an argument as to what he means.
Can you look at his comment? Can you bring it up? He doubled down.
Can you bring it up? Can you bring it up, Mark?
Oh yeah. How do I do that? I've never done that before. Okay, present. Do I have anything embarrassing? No.
I'll be the judge of that.
They also said something before, which I found interesting, when they said they didn't like the kind of depressing kind of talk of some antinatalists because it was bad for image or something. But I mean, I think you kind of do need a depressing element to. I mean, I think you kind of have to have a depressing outlook to be AN anyway. I think you do.
That's an interesting point. I mean, one could argue. I mean, if we're going to talk hypotheticals, one could argue it's better to create more suffering in people's lives because that'll push them more towards antinatalism.
Yeah. That's my personal view. Like, it's better to push the brutal nature of reality in people's eyes than not to. Because if you just go around smiling, go, oh, life is all right, I'm not too bad, it's quite decent, and you're smiling all the time, and you're going, oh, happy Jakes and all that, then who the fuck's going to listen to that as a reason not to bring people into the world? I mean, I think you do need to bring out the terrible truth, and you need to let people have their say, you know. And
I'm sharing it, by the way. I don't know. Do you have to do something?
Yeah, I'm going to do it now. Is that you ready?
Yeah.
There you go. You're the lecturer now, so I'll let you talk.
Oh, do I have to read it? All right. It's so yeah, John says, "Hi Mark, reposting this comment here so that people can see our response. You heard correctly that I, John, can see an argument for antinatalists donating sperm." With several big caveats. All right. One argument made against antinatalism is that if all the compassionate people stop having children, then they won't be able to pass on the genes that may contribute to people being compassionate. This was part of the concern raised by Peter Singer in episode 4 of our podcast. We believe that if it is true that compassion is partially inherited, if it is true that antinatalists are more compassionate, and if donating a sperm bank, 2 sperm banks does not increase the amount of procreation occurring, but rather leading to people being created who are more compassionate than the alternative, then someone concerned about this would do better to donate to sperm banks than having their own children to pass on their compassionate genes. Just so you know, this is not something that I will personally be doing. What are your thoughts on this argument?
But would it's like why would you donate it? Why wouldn't you bring them up yourself? I mean, I think that kids who are brought up by by people who have IVF, etc., they don't know who their parents are, biological parents. I think that adds stress to their life when they find out. So why would you do that to someone?
And how do you know? You don't know the woman. If you're donating sperm, you don't know what woman is going to be the mother of that child. What if her genes are just messed up? Like if you want to take that road of genetic compassion or whatever it is.
Yeah. I suppose they'll argue they'll source the material, but
so what if the woman who has your baby just eats meat? That's all.
Yeah. That's you could create the next Gordon Ramsay or something, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very strange one. That.
Well, it's only strange if you're thinking as an antinatalist. It's not strange in the terms of utilitarianism or anti-suffering.
No, it's definitely no, exactly. So it's in terms of anti-suffering. If that's his mission, then yeah, I can understand.
Exactly.
In terms of
Wait,
AN,
how's it a call of anti-suffering though? Because even
no,
that,
but if he doesn't believe in AN, and if he's saying that the most important thing is to reduce suffering, yeah. And he's not concerned about like sacrificing people for that aim. Okay.
Right.
Well, then he's a utilitarian, isn't he? He's
but you know what's interesting about the comment he left is that he said as well at the end, I wouldn't be doing this personally, and that's very similar to the way Lawrence speaks as well. He, like when he talks about the ecological niche replacement argument, he says, "Oh, people should have children, but it's not something I'm going to do because it's bad," and it feels to me like it's outsourcing your sin. There's just something really weird about the whole thing.
Well, I don't think he said that since, has he? I mean, that was just one ages ago, right?
Well, I'm just pointing out the similarity in approach.
I actually think these guys. I think he maybe might talk a bit more on it, and I think he'll backtrack eventually because I don't know if that's.
Oh, but I don't think he needs to backtrack. Honestly,
no. He'll pick a side. Pick a side, either AN or. Effective altruism. You know what I mean? It's like
that's the angle. Like I say, I think their cause is laudable.
I have a lot of respect for effective altruism, but it's a difficult task because you can never know one way or the other. I don't think, but I mean that's why I'm a pessimist. You know, if there was a way to know what's going to work, then I'd say go for it. But even effective altruism to me is dodgy. You know.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. That even when you start talking about consequences and stuff, unless you actually can account for all the variables,
you can't. You can't. I mean, you can give your 10% to charity every month, but you don't. Believe me, I've been in the third sector before, and you just don't want to know what's running it. You know.
Yeah. I hear. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not going to tell stories because that'll reveal too much info. But exactly.
Yeah. We got Doom Wizard here.
Hey, so is that comment hey, buddy.
Go ahead.
No, I was just asking, so is that comment, is it a formal contradiction? Or any time one relativizes antinatalism, is it just a form of eugenics? Because preferable for some genes to be under its rule and others not to.
Right. It sounds very eugenic.
It does sound eugenic, but the thing is, I would argue that compassionate beings suffer the most in this existence. I've already said that. I think if you're a caring person, this existence is not for you, really, because there's too much pain involved in caring.
Right. But that's the whole utilitarianism thing. Like, if you create one suffering person,
you
blah,
sacrifice
blah, blah.
one soldier for the benefit of the nation.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys are all wrong. We're doing antinatalism wrong.
Probably true. Maybe they've got the insight that we need.
Doom Wizard.
Yeah, that's not the real antinatalism. I ever heard that one.
Real antinatalism, TM.
Lenny says we have a duty to stick around.
A duty.
Doom Wizard, would you care to give us a presentation on what's happening? You can go on camera if you want. I'll make you the solo.
Is this Reagan?
Yeah.
I remember this fella.
Is that all right?
You remember me. Well, thank you for introducing me. I actually had a question for you first. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm using my phone. You don't have to so I can't present right now. I'd have to get on my computer. I'm actually also eating dinner. That's besides the point. I have to ask you, why did you change? What's Hope Ministries? Can you explain that?
Oh, listen, don't take it too seriously.
He found the good news.
I did it as a joke a few weeks ago, and I haven't been asked to change it back yet. I don't even know if I will change it back. We'll see.
The true answer is he's slowly setting this up to be a cult. He's trying to be
psyop. The whole thing's a psyop. That's right.
That's pretty good branding.
He's a fed.
It's all slowly falling into place. But Doom Wizard,